Hello everyone. Welcome to the channel sharing knowledge about comprehensive self-development through books. Today, I would like to share with you the content called Start the New Year Perfectly with Farewell Paragraph through the book Danshari by author Yamashita Hideko. So, what is the farewell paragraph? These are three Japanese kanji words combined into *Danshari**, a concept first introduced by Mrs. Yamashita Hideko in the work of the same name. When this book was published, it became popular throughout Japan and was translated into many languages around the world. We can roughly understand the meaning of the three words as follows. *don* means break up, *shaw* means to leave, and *li* means to escape. Let's look back at the past year. Perhaps we lost many things. Many people around us also left us, but the past year also left behind many excess things. We have been holding on to obsessions that we should have let go of long ago, but for some reason, we still hold on to them and don't miss leaving. And then, there are times when we feel suffocated, keeping our increasingly small living space. The time for ourselves is also less and less than we think. We should be happier when we own many things, but it turns out we become lost and meaningless. This book will show you the reasons why you are anxious, lose balance, and easily fall into a state of mental exhaustion, thereby teaching you how to let go of things that need to be renounced. But here, we must renounce and escape from what? Here, renouncing is not simply throwing away excess belongings to have a streamlined and simple life, but above all, the reason I want to introduce this book to you is because it contains a valuable concept from the inside out that is in accordance with the law of the universe, that there is output, there is input, and if there is input, there must be output. It is the core of the detachment method of living, and it can also become a new lifestyle for you in the coming year. It helps you to throw away unnecessary tangible things and change the invisible world within you, from there, gently on every step, fresh, and adding meaning to your own life. The reason you can't let go. First, see if you have ever had an experience in life like this. The shopping season is approaching, and you have the habit of hoarding a lot of things at a discount. You buy them and keep them there, thinking you will use them someday, but in reality, you rarely touch them. Or, when you go somewhere in a hotel, you usually take home the free stuff: toothbrush, toothpaste, disposable slippers, etc. They get stored somewhere in the corner of the house and gather dust. Clothes in the closet are full, but every time you go out, you still feel like you have nothing to wear. Or, you keep boxes and paper bags thinking you can use them later, but in fact, it only makes the red living space in the city suddenly become more and more beautiful. Then, people used new pots, bowls, and chopsticks. Now, bowls and chopsticks must come with a whole set. There must be nearly 10 knives in the house. There must be all kinds of pots and pans, stir-fry, fry, pressure steam, etc. Not to mention that merchants often stimulate consumption by advertising promotions of 50% off or buy two get one free. This has led to a state of material excess in many families. If you encounter one of the above situations, it is emphasizing that you are living in an era of material surplus. The large amount of material in the consumer society gives you more choices, but at the same time, it also makes you have more worries later on. The author of this book, Yamashita, believes that the reason material excess has become so widespread is that many people have a vague understanding of needs and have a materialistic mindset. On the surface, it seems that we can't resist the temptations of merchants like advertising sales skills, but in fact, it's because we don't really understand our own needs, so we keep buying and trying. Next, many people have the mindset of materialism, meaning thinking depends on material life in the long term. But it does not mean that in that person's eyes, there is only materialism, doing everything for money. Specifically, when deciding to buy an item, they don't consider whether it is really necessary or not. As long as it can be used, they will buy it. For example, a wife wants to buy a treadmill. The husband is confused and asked, "Why do we have to buy a treadmill if our house is right next to a park with a beautiful running track?" The wife replied, "If it rains one day, running outside is very inconvenient. A treadmill is still more convenient." In this case, we can see the wife has used materialistic thinking to decide on consumption. She sees the rainy season as a special, infrequent situation, but in her mind, when there is the possibility of rain, the treadmill will be useful. Simply put, I don't need it much, but I have to prepare in advance. Deep inside many people's souls, there is always a fear of insecurity and a fear of lack. That is why there is a concept of dependence on material things like that, so you must own as much as possible of what you don't have and don't want to throw away what you already have. However, many people don't expect that living according to a materialistic mindset will bring many negative consequences. On one hand, it makes it difficult for people to discover simple and lasting joys from within. Instead, they consign themselves and joy to spending money and satisfaction when owning material wealth. Those with the conditions will continuously pursue satisfaction, constantly wanting something better than what they already have. Those who do not have the conditions will carry many burdens on themselves. Some people have to endure excessive financial pressure. And even to satisfy their consumer needs, they accept to sell their labor time for overtime work or borrow money. Both types of people live with different stressful worries. How can I have more money? How can I shop without having to think about it? On the other hand, people who think materialistically often have the habit of measuring the meaning and value of life by material wealth. For example, a successful person must have a mansion, play with cars, use branded goods, and eat at famous restaurants. But in fact, material wealth cannot decide what kind of person one is. On the contrary, it will only show the picky nature of someone who relies on materialism. Living in an environment with abundant material things, people will tend to want to accumulate more and not want to throw them away. For example, in the book, there is a case of a couple who have a concept of living to experience and enjoy the material world as much as possible. As soon as they see something they like, they will buy it immediately without hesitation. Over time, their apartment was filled with clothes and belongings. Both of them started to become grumpy about cleaning. Later, because they could not stand it, they decided to move to a large house in the suburbs. To move easily, they sorted and packed things. As a result, they were surprised to discover that they had excess and useless items that could fill a truck. Then, the couple realized that no matter how big the house was, it could not satisfy their uncontrollable material desires. Therefore, they began to learn how to let go. First, they decided to buy a smaller house. With less space, they could not hold as much stuff, so they would reduce the frequency of shopping. Without a big TV or game console, they began to face and communicate with each other more deeply. They looked into each other's eyes more, and the relationship between the couple became more harmonious. Without many kinds of utensils in the kitchen, they tried to study the dishes that were pure and healthier. The husband, who had a big belly, lost more than 10 kilos in half a year. Without the oppression of objects, the living space suddenly expanded, and their moods became more peaceful. They often went for walks together in the evening or read books together at home. When they started to let go, their quality of life improved significantly. Just like the saying goes, if life were simple, a butterfly could find an endless garden. A tree would have beautiful mountains and rivers and a cloud floating in the vast sky. True happiness probably starts with you realizing that you need to let go. So, how exactly do we let go? And why is it so difficult to put into practice? We need to understand that letting go is not about throwing away things to make the house look clean and airy. A real letting go must be letting go of desires, letting go of excess things, and letting go of attachments. In other words, letting go means not buying carelessly, throwing away unnecessary things, and letting go of attachments to material things. Therefore, you will see that the deeper purpose of this method is not simply to clean up the living space but through the determination to handle excess things and stop just taking in but not letting go. When you can balance between the output and intake of different material energies, material here is not simply wealth, money, or tangible things that you can see and touch but also intangible things such as your concepts, thinking, thoughts, and desires. Only then can you finally truly practice and improve yourself, getting rid of attachments. It sounds easy, but when you do it, it is really difficult. Why is that? It is because most of us are one of the following 3 types of people, the types that the author calls people who cannot let go. The first type is the runner. These people are usually very busy or have little time at home, and they don't want to do housework. These people tend to think that cleaning takes a lot of time. If they have enough time, they will clean it, but when they have free time, they often spend it resting and playing. Over time, the house will become messy with many things not sorted, so it is not easy to find them, and they often spend a lot of time looking for things or never use them. The second type is the type of people who linger in the past. These people collect, keep, and gather many strange things from the past: cups, medals, and souvenirs, etc. In their hearts, these items that carry nostalgia are important witnesses of life. If they throw them away, it also means that they do not cherish or deny the past. For example, the character of Trang Hoen's father in Reply 1988 is a typical example. He keeps and carefully packs old, damaged items from the past all over the cupboards. His wife, annoyed by the clutter in the house, threw his things outside. The author of this book is not against you keeping relics, but there are things that are kept, taking up living space and mental space that we need to reevaluate. The third type of person is the person who worries about the future. These people are always ready to fully prepare and store supplies for the days ahead, and they often think, if I don't buy them now, what should I do if I need them later? This is also the most populous of the three types of people. As the author said, all three of these people have one thing in common: a relatively weak perception of time. The runner thinks that cleaning takes time, so what are they really avoiding? They are actually running away from the present. In reality, if everything is arranged from the beginning, cleaning only takes a few minutes. People who are nostalgic about the past often value the past more than the present, while those who worry about the future have the opposite tendency. That is why both of them do not really live in the present. Because whether it is the past or the future, they cannot easily let go of unnecessary things, which makes the mental space for living in the present suffocating. The spiritual life becomes easily anxious, and they desire more and more. Do you realize this? Because you can pick it up but can't put it down, you have actually lost yourself in the present. Through the method of letting go, the author not only teaches you how to tidy up your house neatly but more deeply forms a philosophy of life and changes your attitude towards material things. In my opinion, letting go is also a way for us to escape the game of the mind, the endless desires of the small ego. You will realize that the highest state of letting go is not asking about the past, not fearing the future, and living in the present. In the book, there is a very good sentence like this: whether something is expensive or rare, only those who can evaluate according to their own needs and make choices can truly have a strong inner self. Only by letting go of your attachments can you become more confident. When you let go of unnecessary things and all attachments, it is actually returning freedom to your own soul. If the above philosophy gives you new inspiration, or at least helps you reflect on your current life, then the next important part will be to put the letting go into practice. Steps to implement letting go: less is more. In the first step, you must be able to perceive your current situation. What is important here is that you not only need to see the things that are exposed in front of your eyes but also the things that are out of your sight. Open all the boxes, storage areas, and storage rooms in your house. No matter how messy and dirty it is, don't let your mind try to escape or become lazy. You need to know that only when you clearly understand how much stuff you have can you officially begin to purify your own life. The second thing we need is to imagine the layout of the living space. When many people see that their house is too messy, they immediately start cleaning. But if you clean without a purpose, it will be a waste of time. Cleaning the house is not just about making the outside look clean and tidy, or stuffing things in and closing the closet, or seeing that many things are still usable and valuable and then temporarily putting them away. You need to use your imagination and think about what kind of living space you want. For example, you hope that the living room has a large open space so you can play with your children, or which open space in the house is suitable for you to conveniently exercise or meditate, etc. After preparing these steps, we can officially begin to act. So, when acting to let go, what will we need? First, we will start by letting go of our belongings. That means we start throwing away unnecessary things. First, put all the little things out in front of you. Many people always start cleaning with the big messy piles first, such as clothes that have not been worn for a long time, but according to the author, these types of things have been stored for a long time. Cleaning them takes both time and physical strength. Many people will feel uncomfortable when facing them right away. In the end, they will get discouraged or waste their efforts without being effective. Instead, You should start with the small stuff first. After placing the small things in front of you, we will start deciding what to keep and what to throw away. The selection criteria here are relatively simple. First, throw away waste and trash, such as expired canned goods, cardboard boxes, shopping bags, and even the things you have absolutely no impression of. Even though those things may come in handy later, if a person does not remember the existence of that thing and only remembers it when they find it, it means it is not important and there is no need to keep it. Second, throw away things that have a connection to you but that you rarely use. For example, a few years ago, your friends gave you some books for your birthday. But these books, no matter how good they are, do not make you want to read them, so you have stored them on the bookshelf. So, for things that have a certain value but that you don't often use, find a way to transfer them to others or sell them. Maybe many people think that if you sell a gift, you will automatically blame yourself for not cherishing the giver. But, let's look at this from a different perspective. An object will only show its true value when it is used and becomes useful. Instead of leaving it to gather dust, let it be used by someone who really needs it. Third, keep the things that you often use and like. However, the standard of liking is very subjective. Sometimes I like something today and not tomorrow, so what should we do? According to the author, this is the necessary exchange of substance in life because if you rely on this criterion to clean up, you will always need to update your preferences. Once you are aware that you have to periodically organize the things that you like, you will increasingly understand what you need and be more cautious about buying things. For example, you will know what kinds of clothes you need for a certain occasion rather than buying everything in a frenzy, resulting in many similar sets of clothes that are only used at the same place, just because you thought it was pretty at that time and spent a lot of money. When choosing items that you use often and really like, start to sort and store them neatly and cleanly. Finally, one thing that needs to be emphasized is that the only thing that can really decide whether to keep an item is a person's inner thoughts. When a person decides to face their true self and daily life, they will naturally know what to keep and what to let go. Second, we have to let go of money. This does not mean that we should stay away from money or stop making money, but it means we need to escape the worry about money. Many people still have the concept that not having money in their pockets is like not having enough stuff at home. It makes them feel insecure. To solve this insecurity, they have to try to earn a lot of money. This thinking is no different from emphasizing in their subconscious that I can only be happy if I have enough money and consume enough things. In fact, this insecurity about money is still just caused by desires created by the brain. That is why the Zen philosophy of ancient Indian yoga is very true in this case. That philosophy points out that only those who do not use their brains can completely be at peace. This means that you and your mind are not one. Therefore, you must find a way to escape the insecurities and desires that the brain creates. That is how you return to the present, return to the starting point, and find yourself. Regarding spending, the author has given 2 ways. First, be grateful. The feeling behind buying something that many people want is happiness and satisfaction. The truth is that we rarely feel grateful for the money we spend. If you spend money with an attitude of gratitude, you will have a reasonable spending habit because you will always ask yourself before spending, what will this money be used for, and what effect will it create? For example, when preparing to attend an important event, many people feel sorry and regretful when they have to buy expensive clothes, while they can usually buy a lot of cheap, low-quality items that fill their closets. But when they understand from a different perspective that they are buying things not to show off but to show appreciation for the event and to make themselves feel more confident, with a reasonable reason and a grateful mood for the money that created its value, you will no longer be stressed or anxious. The second way is a method that we usually know: spend according to your income level. Simply put, it is to manage your monthly spending. If you need to buy something, but your spending for this month has exceeded the plan, then save it for the next month. Sometimes you will find that if you can balance your spending appropriately, the things that you have considered buying later become something that you don't really need after a while. Finally, from the deepest roots, you need to let go of your attachments. Mrs. Yamashita believes that most things in life are connected to some attachment. Like the saying, there are many types of troubles and obstacles. If you don't cling to the ego, there will be no troubles. Therefore, The ego is the root that causes all kinds of troubles. In the end, many people constantly buy and accumulate things. They are also constantly reinforcing their own ego. In the book, there are many other cases. Some people, because of childhood nostalgia, can't bear to throw away the comic books piled up in their house. Many people, wanting to feel safe, fill their house with feng shui items. Many people, wanting to get rich, choose and buy many types of books that teach success. In the long run, those things increase and occupy your mental space. Let go of them. Don't try to stubbornly have or keep things. The author says that, on the surface, we are throwing away waste, but at the same time, we are also throwing away inner attachments in the invisible world. If life is a river, then attachments are the silt that stops its flow. Always remember a rule: less is more. Keep this saying in your heart. It will help you resolutely let go of things that you don't need. The things you don't need can be a relationship, a job, an ambition, a lifestyle, or household items. The things you don't need are always connected to an attachment, an obsession like how do I have to be first, which will create expectations for others. An obsession like I have to be perfect in the eyes of others will cause you to try to maintain poor quality relationships. An obsession like I am the most important person will make you spend more time on personal goals and cut down on the time with your loved ones, skipping moments of playing with and watching your children grow up. An obsession like I have to enjoy the joy immediately, I will still have a lot of time later will make you constantly fill your mind with useless entertainment, such as surfing the phone aimlessly. These are the obsessions that you have to break away from and escape. Fate is simple. It wants you to be simple as well. A person can live simply, not surrounded by excess furniture. This simplicity is proof of their inner harmony. You will discover that, in fact, anything in your life can be let go of, can be reduced. Nothing is too important or absolute for you. In the beginning, letting go will feel exhausting, but once you do it, you will find it easier and easier. You can even let go anytime you want. You will no longer want to accumulate things, nor will you pile up in your heart the things that hurt you, your negative thoughts, or your worries about uncertainty and insecurity. The more you let go, the happier you will become. You will not wait until things are old and broken before you throw them away, but instead you can transfer them to others when they are still good. Seeing the joy of people who receive your gifts, you will be happy beyond words. The more you let go, the more you will discover that everything, including the house you have lived in for so long, can be let go of. From there, you will no longer be dependent on material possessions. As the book *Abundance* says, you will not expect that this kind of detachment will not only affect the objective living environment but will even change your life and give you a whole new perspective on abundance. In fact, being able to let go is the ultimate abundance. Your heart, which originally only wanted to have and was full of desires, suddenly turns into letting go, giving, and serving. This is true fulfillment, satisfaction, abundance, and richness. So, it's time to remove the mud and free up your physical and spiritual space. You will be lighter and calmer and can continue to move forward. So, that is the most essential content from this book. I hope it will inspire you to build a new, meaningful life. To end today's video, Better Version would like to share with you a list of things to throw away. I hope it can help you to let go of unnecessary things so your home is more airy, your space is more pristine, and your heart is lighter. Start letting go to welcome a new year. This also marks your readiness to improve and experience a new life. The list of things to let go of includes kitchen utensils, clothes, shoes, electronics, and personal items. I will put this specific list on the screen. As the author said, letting go is a behavioral technique. By cleaning up, you understand yourself, resolve your inner chaos, and make life more comfortable. On this last day of 2023, let's start organizing ourselves today. I hope both you and I can often let go of excess things, take in things of value, trim down weeds, and cut away dry leaves to make our garden of life more vigorous, full of spring, and full of fragrance. I wish you a new year full of energy, high abundance, and true riches. Thank you for listening. If you find this video helpful, please share it with those who need it. Give me a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell to watch my latest weekly videos. Thank you again and see you in the next videos.